Hi guys, this is Sarah Nix. I wanted to take a minute to discuss my data overview with you. This is from Heritage Middle School. The purpose of the presentation is to review Georgia milestone results in comparison to the state achievement, also to analyze data to establish effective short-term goals, and then identifying strengths and weaknesses within instruction at Heritage Middle School. Questions to think about while analyzing the data. What are student weaknesses? What are student strengths? What changes could be made to make a positive effect on student learning? How can different types of data be used to monitor student learning throughout the school year? This is our student enrollment. It has declined a little bit. We started 4 years ago at just under 900 students. And then in 2017-18, we were sitting at 833 students. Not a huge decline, but a decline. I don't think it's enough to where our data will be skewed, but it is good to know that our numbers are a little lower. The ethnicity at Heritage Middle School has been pretty consistent. We are predominantly white or Caucasian. We have a few Hispanics or multiracial students, but other than that, it's predominantly white, and that is consistent across the years. The gender at Heritage Middle School has also been pretty consistent. Females being blue and then males being orange, they're pretty close together, pretty even throughout the 4 years as well. This chart shows our educational program enrollment. The blue is students with disabilities, and then the orange is our regular education students. The majority of our students are regular education students, but we also have quite a few students with disabilities, so that kind of plays a factor in our student achievement. We also have quite a bit of students that qualify for free and reduced lunch. We aren't Title I, but as you can see, we're over 37% in 2014-15, and then in 17-18, we were just under 35%. So we do have students that are economically disadvantaged, and it's over a fourth of our students, so that's something we need to take into consideration. This is a look at our teachers. Our total is pretty consistent. It's always between 63 and 66 teachers. We on occasion have a teacher that's on a provisional, but generally all of our teachers have degrees. Several have a doctoral degree or a specialist degree, as well as a master's and then a 4-year bachelor's. Our average years of experience for our teachers are between 18 and 19 years of experience. So a pretty seasoned staff. We don't have a high turnover rate, very few new teachers, and very rarely are they first year teachers. This is our student achievement data based on our milestones. It is broken down by grade level, this being 6th grade, this being 7th grade, and then this being 8th grade. It also has columns for each year to where it has our school percentage and then the state percentage. And this is meeting or exceeding proficiency. So this is level 3s and 4s only. It's not level 1s and 2s. So as you can see, I'm going to kind of focus on 7th grade math because that's what I teach. But as you can see, our school proficiencies are consistently higher than the state's, and they are continuously growing. So that's a positive thing. They are increasing, they're increasing slowly, but they're also higher than the state, and that is across the board. The math ESC proficiency for 2017-18 is broken down here. Beginning learners, that's level ones. That's the blue, that's the small sliver. And then developing learners, this is our ones and twos that weren't shown in the previous chart. Most of our learners are proficient, meaning level threes, and then we have level fours as well. Based on the data, we need to move our level ones and twos over to threes and fours. And based on what I got from my administration, our main focus for the ones and twos is our students with disabilities and our 504 students, because those students have gaps that need to be filled, and that's kind of playing a role in their scoring. So that is kind of our focus and what we want to kind of look at and improve so that we can move our ones and twos over to threes. Here is also our language arts proficiency for 2017-18. The level ones here are a little bigger, as well as the level twos, but still most of our students are level threes, with few level fours. So our goal again is looking at moving our ones and twos over to threes and fours. And again, with language arts, the trend being that this is not all, but a majority of our students with disabilities and 504 students, the students that have gaps that need to be filled. Okay, so based on the data, what are student strengths? We do have consistent enrollment. Our test scores continue to increase. The percentage of proficient and distinguished learners continue to increase. And then test scores are higher than the state average. And also, the majority of our teachers are highly qualified. What are some student weaknesses? We lack students scoring fours, especially across subject areas. As you can see, based on language arts and the math proficiency pie chart, there were more fours in math than there were language arts. So we need to look at making them more consistent there. And then students with disabilities consistently score lower than regular education students. Okay, so based on the data, some discussion questions that need to be talked about would be: what changes could be made to make a positive effect on student learning? And how can different types of data be used to monitor student learning throughout the school year? Once a discussion has been had with those discussion questions, the next steps would be, based on the discussion from the discussion questions, develop a plan to improve the student weaknesses, and then also determine how student learning will be monitored throughout the school year. So based on that, that would kind of guide the next year's implementation of kind of improving the student weaknesses and giving you a starting point, something to work on. This is just based off of our student data. Thank you for listening, and let me know if you have any questions.